14 rules of small talk that foreigners don't understand. Hi, hello, and welcome everyone. Welcome back to another video of mine. I am a foreigner when it comes to the UK, so I wonder if this video title of the channel Adventures in Naps is actually accurate, because she says that foreigners don't understand. I feel challenged, so I want to know whether I do understand these rules or not. Let's get into it.
If you're new here, my name is Alana and I'm a Canadian, but I live here in the UK. And if you're not new here, hey, how's it going? When I first moved here to the UK, it took me a shocking amount of time to fully understand what British people were saying to me. I always thought, coming from Canada, a predominantly English speaking country, right? If we just ignore the French people for a little bit. I thought coming from Canada to the UK, it's not gonna be a problem. I can speak the language. I was wrong. Today I've got 14 unwritten rules of British small talk that took me a long time to understand. So without further ado, let's go. Number 1, we have understatement is a sport. I found British people love to speak in understatements, both good and bad. It's almost like talking directly is just a bit too much. So if a British person says to you, it's a bit windy, you can expect that there's a literal hurricane outside. Or you ask someone how they're doing and they say, oh, I'm not too bad. Their life is falling apart. Number 2, simply sorry. Saying sorry.
It's a little fast. The example of the hurricane, oh my gosh. I mean, I've heard of that before. I had watched a video in which they talked about the fact that British people, when there is something going on that's actually really, really bad, they're like, oh, what was it? Oh, right. Oh, that's not ideal. When there is something really, really bad happening. But also the other way around, that when there is something going on that's not as bad, they talk like it's bloody bad. Or I don't know, something with the expression of bloody in order to make it sound really, really bad, when in actuality, it's not. So I know it both ways around. But the fact that she's like, oh my gosh, it's a little bit windy outside, a wee bit windy outside, and there's a little hurricane. Is that true? Because that's so funny. And now that she talked about, like, when you ask an English person or a British person about how they are, and they're like, oh yeah, it's all right. And their life's literally falling apart. Like, what do you say when your life is actually falling apart then? Or what do you say when it's just a little windy? Also, I'm questioning all the conversations I had with British people where I asked them, how are you? And they're like, yeah, well, it's fine, it's okay, I'm doing good. Were they even saying the truth then? I am questioning all the conversations I have with British people. At this point, what the heck? And we're just at number 1. What's going on? Okay, let's head back a little.
Number 2, simply sorry. Saying sorry here is such a knee-jerk reaction, but what makes me smile is that British people will say sorry even if they are not the ones at fault. So if you're at the supermarket and someone's like pushing a trolley, someone's pushing a trolley and they bump into you, the person being bumped into will likely say sorry.
Really?
Squeeze past someone in the supermarket, sorry. Accidentally bump into someone, I'm so sorry. Even if someone bumps into me, I'm like, sorry about that, my fault. So ingrained in our culture, isn't it?
Thankfully, this is a small talk, sort of like polite rule that we have in Canada. Not every country's gonna have it, but thankfully this is one that I was familiar with. As someone who has once bumped into a mannequin at a store and said sorry. Number 3, of course, we have to talk about.
Okay, it's not the same in Germany. It's not the same. If you do something like bump into another person with your trolley or with your cart, I like how she's like, with your trolley, and you could see the smile on her face, because it looked to me as if she was corrected many times in the comments by all the British people. So when they're like, that's not a cart, that's a trolley, because that the same thing happened to me so many times before when I use American expressions for British words or terms when they're interchangeable. If you do not speak British or American English, but like me, you use a mixture. And like I said before, sometimes I use British English expressions, sometimes they're American English expressions, and sometimes I don't even know which one is which. So I'm using them interchangeably, and I don't know. It's just a little thing that I noticed when she was saying the trolley. That's how it sounded to me. So I think that might be the case. She's gotten some comments of people being annoyed, of British people being annoyed at her. But back to the topic. When you bump into a person with your trolley or with your cart, then you say sorry. And that's also something that other people are expecting from you. However, the other way around, if you get bumped into, you're not saying sorry. You're turning around. And if the person says, I'm sorry, you're like, that's okay, that's okay. If the person doesn't say anything, you turn around and stare at them. You're like, that's the look. That's the look you're gonna give them. You just stare at them. And sometimes, if you want to level up, you're also gonna express that you're annoyed by that person bumping into you, not saying anything. And also, it depends on when you're turning around, what kind of person did that. You're trying to figure out on whether that person is going to be sorry if you tell them, or if that person is going to punch you in the face if you tell them. And you're making that decision within a few seconds and decide on whether you're just staring or turning around really, really fast and not doing anything because the person looks scary, or if you're gonna start a conversation with them. It depends. It depends on the person, on the German person themselves, and it depends on the person that was bumping into you. But you are not gonna say sorry if someone does something to you. No, no, no. Mm-mm. Not happening in Germany.
Number 3, of course, we have to talk about you all right. Even though I've lived in the UK for 10 years now, this is one that it's not come naturally to me. It makes me nervous. I get sweaty just thinking about it, because there's been so many times when I've interacted with a British person and they've said you all right, and I have not responded in the best way. To me, when someone says you all right, it's because they're like concerned about you. Like, are you all right? Are you okay? Like, so you look like you're dying. Are you all right? Here, of course, in the UK, it's very non-committal. It is almost like sorry. It's a knee-jerk reaction response. They are not looking for your life story. They're not even really looking for an appropriate or correct answer. If someone says you all right, you can just say it back to them, and that's okay.
What?
Oh, yeah, you're right. All right. Yeah, you're all right. Yeah, all right. Right.
But this is one that still feels really weird to me. After 10 years, there are certain things that I now do British wise that are natural. Like, it just, if you give it time and you're just like in and about people, it will just naturally happen. And that sort of like culture change. There's lots of things that I now do and say that are British that I didn't do when I first moved here. But the you all right thing, I can't. And I think a big part of this is my accent. Saying it in my voice sounds wrong. And there's no way around that. Unless I do a fake British accent, in which case I will just offend everyone. Number 4, an unspoken rule.
That's so interesting. Okay. I mean, we have something similar here in Germany. Whenever you are, for example, at work in the morning, you get into the office, the other person looks at you and they're like, Morgen, na, alles klar? Everything all right? And you're like, ja, alles klar. Bei dir? Ja, alles klar. So we have something similar to that. However, I hate it. I hate it because it always reminds me of this American way of asking a person. Like, that's what I've heard. Allegedly, in the US, every single person asks you in the supermarket, for example, like, how are you? And I think maybe this is my German stubborn mind. If you ask me how I am, you're gonna get an answer. And if you don't want an answer, don't ask me. It just annoys me. I'm not talking for every German here. I'm only talking about the stubborn type, which there are not many, to be honest, because also at work, I was the only one really who answered honestly every single time someone asked me. But it's just like, it annoys me. If I'm like, how are you? I want to know how the person is. It's an from my side an honest question, and I'm expecting an honest answer. I'm not expecting a somewhat formulated response that every single other person would give to you as well, because that's not a real conversation. If I talk to people, I want to have a real conversation, and I can understand it's completely different from what she's talking about, because like we've seen in a TikTok that she showed, it's mostly about people who are just like, you're walking somewhere outside and you're passing a person and they're like, you're all right, yeah, you're all right, yeah, yeah, and then you're just gone. You're not even saying yeah. You're all right, you're all right, yeah, you're all right, like that. I'm sorry if I offended anyone with my non-accent. I'm not trying to. I didn't even try to do a British accent. However, I can understand it. If this is a stranger and you're just passing by, I can understand it. But for example, at a workplace or at a shop or anywhere else, or if you're meeting a person you know and they're like, you're all right, they're gonna get an answer from me. Like I said, stubborn Germany. We're a special kind. Let's continue with the video.
Number 4, an unspoken rule in terms of small talk with British people. We obviously have to mention the weather.
Yeah,
in any
same.
situation when you are in the UK and you don't know what to say to someone, just talk about the weather.
Same.
British people will talk about the weather to strangers at a bus stop, to the cashier
really?
at Tesco, to their family and loved ones. It is a perfectly acceptable conversation topic, but also the British people just kind of love to talk about the weather. So it is a great option if you are someplace and you're talking to people that you don't really know or you're not really comfortable with. You don't know what to say. Talk about the weather. When I mention this, I already know what you guys are going to say. When I mention this, British people usually say it's because the weather here changes so frequently and so quickly. And so it's like,
you always have
makes
something
sense
to
talk
talk
about the
about.
weather because
Yeah.
it's something that's consistently happening and changing and whatever. But I will say the same is true in Canada. We can have a frigid, snowy, minus 15-degree morning where you're going off to work and it's sunny and people are in shorts by the time you're having lunch. So I just have to say that sort of logical, well, it changes really rapidly. That's why we have to talk about it. I think you guys just like talking about the weather, and that's okay. Number 5, unless...
Wait, I have a question for you guys. Are you talking about the weather in the sense of, oh, it's sunny outside? Yeah, it's sunny. Have you seen the sunshine? We've had so much sunshine yesterday. It's great. I love it. Or are you complaining about the weather? Because we in Germany, we tend to talk about the weather as well. If there is something going on, I mean, we don't talk to cashiers about the weather. Cashiers? 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 Oh gosh, how oh, cashiers, never mind. To the people at the cash register, we don't talk to them about anything other than our shopping experience. She says how much it costs, we pay, and then we wish them a nice day. That's it. I mean, there are older German people who tend to talk to cashiers. Oh my gosh, that's this word again, and I can't say it. Is this how I say cashiers? Cashiers. It feels wrong. I'm so sorry. I get distracted by this word. What was my point to begin with? I talk myself into being distracted. Oh, yeah, right. The weather. So if we talk to a person in a situation where we have to be with another person, can't get out of the conversation, and we have to rely on the weather as a topic, we tend to complain about the weather instead of just talking about it. It's gonna be like, it's so cold outside again. Oh my gosh, I miss the summer. Yeah, I miss the summer as well. Oh my gosh, it's been so cold. Or, oh my gosh, it's been so warm these last weeks. It's annoying. We need a break. Yeah, oh yeah, I can understand because I'm the same. It's just so freaking annoying that it's so hot outside all the time. So it's rather complaining than really talking about the weather. How's that in the UK? Are you talking about it? Are you exchanging facts? Or are you just complaining as well?
Number 5, unless my numbering is wrong, in which case, don't worry about it. Number 5, when we talk about small talk, of course, we need a section on public transport. There are very clear and yet unwritten rules when it comes to volume on public transport. Now, I know on some trains there's usually like the quiet carriage where it's supposed to be like quiet, but realistically, British people are expecting all of the other carriages to be quiet too. There may not be like actual signs everywhere like don't talk too loud or don't play music or whatever, but it is expected that you are going to be quiet and you're not going to be annoying. So if you want to talk in a carriage, sure, people talk, that's fine, but it better be quiet. The absolute worst is when somebody is playing something on their phone, whether it's a game or whether it's like videos, whether they are on the phone. You know what I hate? When people are on the phone and they're talking to someone on speakerphone like this.
Yeah.
How is this better than just doing this? Do you know, like I cannot imagine being literally anywhere, let alone on the train, and talking on my phone like this.
I don't want other people to know what I'm talking about.
So in terms of like unwritten small talk rules, you can talk, be quiet, and God forbid if you are playing stuff out of your phone, there might be someone that confronts you, but more likely than not, everybody in that carriage is going to be tutting at the back of your head, and everybody hates you. Now, if you want to fit in with British culture and not be tutted at or actively despised by everyone around you, a nice activity to do on public transport would be quietly reading, which you can do with Readly, the sponsor of today's video. Readly is an app that gives you access to over 8,000 magazines and newspapers all in one spot for one monthly fee. It's perfect for staying in store so many magazines. You can download editions for reading offline, which is my signal sucks. And I can promise you, nobody is going to be tutting at the back of your head if you are reading quietly on a train. Ones that I personally like are This Week, Time, The Independent, Good Food, even Sparked, and can use for future projects. If you want to give it a go yourself, you can try Readly free for 2 months and you can cancel anytime. You can scan my QR code or check out my link in the description. Number 6 of British small talk rules we have to talk about without talking about, which is to say that this chapter is called Avoid the Real Topic. And with that, my legs have gone asleep.
What does that mean?
I think I mentioned this earlier, unless I imagined it. British people don't always like to say what they really think. So like with understatements, this sort of idea of avoiding what you really want to say is something that took me a really long time to get the hang of. And especially British people like to avoid what they really mean if it's negative. I find that is like a real trigger, rather than saying like, wow, the project you've been working on, that sucks. They might say something like, wow, okay, well, I can see where you're going with this.
He's alright when you get to know him. I actually don't mind him. He's harmless, really. He's fine in small doses. He's a bit of a character. He says it as it is. He's Marmite. He's a bit Marmite.
The name of the game is to be indirect. North Americans don't know this topic. They don't know this. They don't have this skill. So here it's just like being direct and you're kind of dancing around what you want to say. It took me a long time to get the hang of. And even though I hate confrontation, like the idea of confrontation makes me break out in a cold sweat, I would much rather someone just tell me what they mean. Because otherwise I'm just going to sit at home and spiral out and guess what they were trying to say.
Same.
Number 7, we have...
The same. And we do not have that in Germany, or most of the time, because we are very direct. If there is something that we don't like, we just say it. I thought, to be honest, that it was the same in the UK. I'm really surprised by that topic now, because I thought people from the UK were very direct as well. I mean, they are in the YouTube comments for one thing, but maybe that's because it's on the internet. I don't know about personal issues though, because I never had any with any people from the UK. Or maybe I just didn't notice it because they were doing it and I didn't notice it because I didn't know. Oh my gosh. And again, I'm I'm questioning every single conversation that I had with a British person. What is going on with this video? I hate not being direct, which doesn't mean you don't have to be polite. You can always phrase it in a nice way. You can always prepare your speech or your topic before you tell the person what you're thinking, and you don't have to be aggressive about it or unpolite. But it's really important that you tell the person what exactly you do not like. Because, for example, if somebody would talk about me in the way that this man just talked about another person, and if I overheard a conversation about me, somebody talking about me in that way, I would be way too shy to go to up to that person and ask them, why don't you like me? Or what is the problem that you have with me? Why are you talking like that to me? So I'd really appreciate it if the other person who has the problem actually opened up and talked to me about what is wrong, because I can't change if I don't know what's wrong.
Number 7, we have eye contact. Now, typically, British people tend to avoid eye contact in
same.
like small talk, public space
Hate
sort of
it.
interactions. Not to say they're not going to look at you if you're a friend or a loved one, or but with strangers, you kind of avoid that. Londoners in particular are absolute professionals about avoiding eye contact. If you've ever been on the tube and there's seats sort of on either side facing
I've
each
been
other,
there.
a Londoner
And I
will
liked
find
it.
literally anything
It was
else
so
to look
comfortable.
at except the person across from them. If it was an Olympic sport, Londoners would win. Number 8, we have
liked
you
it.
want a cuppa? There is a ritual
Yeah,
of
I know
offering
that
tea,
one.
even if you yourself do not want tea. If anyone enters your house, a plumber, the landlord, a friend, a loved one, anybody, who else would be in your house? Anytime someone enters your house, you offer them a cuppa. It's one of these sort of unwritten rules that if you don't, even if that person doesn't want a cuppa, right? Maybe they don't even drink tea, but if you don't offer it to them when they enter your house, that is so rude. Cheers. To Americans,
Cheers.
to Canadians, we only ever say cheers or hear cheers when people are cheersing their drinks. Is cheersing a word? It doesn't matter. I just said it. But of course, here in the UK, people will say cheers as a thank you if you hold the door open for them.
I knew that.
If you do something nice for them, if they drop something, you pick it up, like whatever. Anytime thanks or thank you could be used, someone might say cheers. This one only recently rubbed off on me because this feels so British as a foreigner. Like if you actually just sit and think about it, it is so British. And I always thought that this one I would never pick it up because it's too British. But I will say, after 10 years, I think it was the postie was giving me a parcel and I said cheers. And it just came out and I stood there afterwards and I was like, oh my God, who am I? Typically my rule of thumb for foreigners is to not fake the language, don't force it, just speak as you would. As long as British people can understand what you are saying, speak as you would, use the words that you would. So I normally 90% of the time say thank you, but when it does feel natural and it just kind of comes out, just let it happen. Number 10, passive aggressive champions. Similar to speaking in understatements or avoiding the direct topic, British people are the gold star standard for passive aggressiveness. If your boss reads a report and says, interesting, it's not interesting, it's terrible. If someone says to you, that's a bold choice, no, it's the wrong choice.
In my office, we all generally get along very well.
Yeah.
But if somebody was making a bit of noise, if someone was, having a laugh and you're trying to have a serious conversation, you mute the telephone and you shout over, do you think you could speak up a bit? I don't think they can quite hear you in Bangladesh. And then take off the mute button.
But if you
I
come from a
love
country
that.
where that passive aggressive sort of indirect understatement kind of way of speaking is not the normal way, it takes a lot of time to get used to. And even still, when I was at work and someone would say something to me and I think, is that what they mean, or is this a passive aggressive thing? Number 11, when it comes to small talk,
I love that. I love that about you guys. I really do. I love passive aggressive sarcasm, dry humor, all of that, the real package. And we do have that in Germany as well. That's why I appreciate it so much when I hear it. But I think if we're on, let's say, second place when it comes to both of our countries, like the UK and Germany, we're second place, you're first place. Because it feels like you, like she said, you are, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for this picture, by the way. Let's make this better. Because I feel like you guys have the pro version of like we have the normal free version of this package and you have the pro version of it because you're so much better at it and I admire it and I love it. I've gotten so many passive aggressive comments. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm German and we do love this kind of passive aggressiveness and humor. Oh my gosh, that's a mouthful. Maybe this is the reason why I also like reading those kinds of comments, even if they're against me, but I have to laugh at that. Doesn't mean that you have to fill the comment section with passive aggressiveness now, okay? Please don't. But whenever I stumble over a comment like that, I'm just smirking. I'm like, oh, okay. Because the fact that I got to read a funny comment like that overweights the me being offended side of myself. I'd rather laugh at those kinds of comments because they're funny, actually.
Number 11, when it comes to small talk, we have to talk about strangers. Now, talking to strangers typically is only allowed in certain contexts, like at the pub, where you're walking your dog, or something's happening with the weather and there's somebody nearby and you got to talk about the weather for a second, or in an absolute emergency. But otherwise, typically speaking, we're not starting a full-blown conversation with strangers. It's a little bit rude. Let's just sit quietly for a second.
Okay.
We have to give time for the Northerners who are down in the comments right now, and I know they're typing away. We're just going to give them a second to type out their comment to say that Northerners aren't like that.
Really?
So, let's just take a pause. How are you doing? Are you doing well? I think my coffee's gone cold. Now that we've given the Northerners time to leave their comments, yes, Northerners always tell me
Passive
they're way
aggressiveness.
more polite. They're way more friendly and nicer than Southerners. It does feel kind of weird, though. If someone tells you that they're a nice person, do we believe that? In my experience living in the South, I wouldn't say that Southerners are rude or like maybe a little bit standoffish, but I think it is done in a polite way because the idea of just like having a full-blown conversation with a stranger is kind of impolite. And you're kind of like forcing yourself on this person. Like, you don't know if they want to talk to you and you're just kind of like putting yourself there. Does that make sense? At least that's how I see it. Number 12, in terms of unwritten small talk, and actually this one is unwritten, unsaid, is getting off public transport. Since it's not always polite to talk to strangers on public transport or to make eye contact with strangers on public transport, how do you indicate to someone that if you're the window seat and someone sat beside you and you want to get out, how do you do that? And this is so funny. Okay, we gotta move again. This is so fun because I think every person watching this video will understand what I'm talking about, and it is not written about anywhere. It's not said. It's not even like a sound. But the rule is, if you start rustling your stuff, like you start maybe getting your bag or you're like moving your stuff around, you're indicating to the person beside you, or maybe even multiple people, that you're the next stop and you want to get out. And those people will move. Yeah. I love this. It's so like everybody knows. Everybody knows what you're doing. You don't have to say anything. You don't even have to look at that person. You just have to start getting your stuff together and everybody will get out of your way. I love it. Number 13, I want to call
it's the same in Germany. It's the same. I mean, I haven't been on public transport for years now, but when I was younger, it was the same. And there are extremer situations in which the other person really doesn't get it. Then you have to say something, but it's most of the times just ich muss hier raus. You're pointing because there's a sign under the rooftop of the bus and you're pointing at it and you're like, ich muss hier raus. I gotta get out here. Ich muss hier raus. So it's 4 little words that you have to use, and then the other person will move. But most of the times it worked just like she said. You're starting to rustle your stuff, you're starting to adjust all the baggage you have, and then you just do a little movement like you pretend you want to get up, and then the other person is going to move. So that's actually really funny, and I never thought about it because, like she said, it's not being talked about. It's not a thing that you're educated about. It's just a thing that you do, which is funny. How do things like that start, and how do they develop into like every single person doing the same without ever talking about it? That's so funny.
This, I'll let you go. I wanted to add this to the list
What?
because it came up recently. I had somebody call me and it was like quite a lengthy conversation, you know, and then they said, okay, well, I'll let you go. Like, girly, you called me. But I love this one because it's such a fun way to like, you've initiated something and you need to say a line that you want to end this conversation. I'll let you go. And number 4, this might be, aside
It's
from
nice,
the
though.
train
I
or
like it.
public transport, I want to get out thing, this might be my favorite. And we are calling this right. The universal sign that someone is about to leave a conversation or a situation is they slap their knees and they say, right.
Oh.
Right. Now, to the slap right, you might add something like, right, well, best be off, or right, well, we better get going. But if you are truly skilled at the art of small talk and of British culture and unwritten British rules, all you have to do is slap the knees, and everybody knows what you mean.
Honestly, oh dear. Right, let's get out of here. Come on, let's go. We best be
Yeah.
going. Come on then.
Big shout out to Readly for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to check out my link in the description if you'd like to watch something else right now, which honestly would be so good. I hope you like this video, but if you want to watch more, how about this one? Quite simply, this one is
Ooh.
about
Wait,
how do I say
have I
this?
watched
How
this?
to piss off English people. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching.
If I haven't watched this, I want to watch it. But I have watched more videos of this channel already, and I can't really tell them apart anymore. Because all of them are really, really good. I love her channel. I love the way she does these videos, just sitting there and talking. It's so cool. I would watch her videos all day long, but I can't because I react to them and I can't like can't be a reaction channel only for her channel. But every now and then I'm gonna do a video from her channel. I learned a lot today about you guys. I learned a lot. Please let me know in the comments down below if you want to add something to all of that, or if you want to let me know what you think about the German way to do these things. And I will see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye.